Greetings metalheads, George here from No Nonsense Metal Reviews, and I'm back today with a bit of an unpackaging, unboxing of an article which I have shown off very recently. This is the Night Demon debut album, reissued for its 10th anniversary in this very nice, very expansive deluxe box set format. This is Curse of the Damned. So I alluded to this particular article very recently while I was doing a bands you need to hear recommendation of Night Demon, and I promised, or I threatened, that I would do a separate review taking a closer look at this box set once I had a little bit more time to explore its contents. And as promised, here it is. So Night Demon, if you're not familiar with, I'll put a link to the recommendation review I've done on the band, so you can check that out. But essentially, they are one of the best, the cream of the crop of the resurgent new wave of traditional heavy metal. Although they have been around since, I believe, the sort of early 2010s, they have released a number of very good albums. Not too many, but more on that in the other review. But they are an absolutely fantastic band. A power trio that is immensely powerful. The emphasis on the power there. Curse of the Damned is an exceptional album. It was their debut, released in 2015. And it is honestly one of the best modern heavy metal albums that I have heard. It is the best new album that wasn't released by a new band in that formative era. It is an absolutely brilliant album. It's so firmly rooted in the new album, and I absolutely love it. Although Night Demon hail from California, they have the spirit of British steel there. So let's take a look at this box set then. Curse of the Damned. It comes in this awesome heavy-duty box, and you can see all of the content on the back there. It's a limited to 1,000 box set, so pretty limited, and this is number 637. So not even a particularly close neighbor of the beast there, but nonetheless, pretty awesome. So this is released through Night Demon Records. I believe it's been put together and directed by the band, or by the main man, Jarvis. So once you open up your box here, you are greeted, and try not to spill everything out, by a nice little mix of goodies. So let's take a little look then. As this is Curse of the Damned, that's all you're getting here, and it's lots of different features relating to the album and to what was happening around it. So first thing we can see here is we have the CDs. Just little card slipcases, but that's fine, in my opinion. Doesn't need to be jewel cases, doesn't need to be anything particularly lavish, as it's inside a box set. But we have, first and foremost, the album itself. In its original released glory, Curse of the Damned, an absolute masterpiece. And I'm going to try, just because I could talk about this album all day for many successive days, I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet and just show you the actual content that you get here. So you get the original album that was released, then you get a 10th anniversary remix. So this is remixed in February 2025 by Roger Camero, and it includes a bonus track of Road Racing as well there. So the 10th anniversary remix, I will say, it does sound different. There are subtle differences there. It almost sounds a little bit more kind of wild, but both versions sound great. The original, I just feel that can't really be topped. We've then got this, which is the Run for Your Life version, and it is essentially the album with some differences. However, this is the original format that the band actually recorded, and they had put all the tricks of the trade into this. They'd put all the tools and mixed around with it and played around with it in the studio very heavily, and I think they had kind of overdone it. By their own admission, they'd overdone it. They then went on the road, realized in that live setting that was actually the sound that they were going for. So they came back from the tour and basically started from scratch. But what's really cool is you get this insight on Run for Your Life of what it would have sounded like had they not played around with it and basically done it again. Or should I say, you would have been able to hear what it was like if it was played around with. And it was played around with quite a lot. There's a massive difference when you're listening to these two recordings. Not just because some of the tracks are different, but the ones that are the same, massive difference. And I am glad that they did decide, no, we want to give that kind of more raw studio vibe to it. And it's really worked. So that's the 3 CDs. You get the original, you get the 10th anniversary remix, and then you get the what was actually unreleased, the overproduced, if you like, studio version. So 3 CDs. You then get, this is really cool, the Curse demos. So you get a tape. And this, I love how old school it looks. It's so cool. And it is kind of definitely one more for the fans. Like, if you love this album, then this is a really cool insight. It is demos from the album. So this is our really old school looking insert here. Love that real DIY vibe that we've got going on here. We even got the address. Awesome. So as you can see, it's instrumentals, it's demos, it's live bootlegs, it's jams, you know. It's all very raw, very stripped back stuff, but it's so awesome. Look at that. Proper DIY looking stickers on the tape there. Very cool. Love it. Definitely one for the fans, but a real nice and very rare insight into what I guess was going on in the studio, what was going on behind the scenes with all the demos, the prep for this brilliant first album. We've then got, in homage to Cliff 'em All, we've got Night Demon, Home Vid, Curse 'em All. And this is a DVD. So it's a DVD that includes a couple of live sets, I believe, and interviews and bits and pieces. I haven't actually gotten around to checking this out. You know, time's always against you, but I have just remembered that I did keep the sticker from the shrink wrap. That's sad. But yes, we've got a DVD, so you've got some live stuff as well if you get the time to check that out. Then we get, and I'm going to try and get these out without damaging anything, we get our vinyl copies of all 3 versions that we have the CDs of. So let's just start at the front, as this one was on top here. Try not to damage anything. I want to keep this nice. So we've got the vinyl version of Run for Your Life. And again, on the back, really, really nice. It actually gives you the kind of the context. It actually gives you a little bit of the narrative of how this version came about and why it wasn't released. Colour. So let's have a look at the vinyl here. Very nice kind of red, not quite marbled, but red, like smoky effect there. Very cool. Like that a lot. Very bold red. And then there are tons of little extra bits that are thrown into this box set. So if I can actually get this vinyl back in its sleeve, I'll show off the extras. When I was unpackaging this box set initially, I kind of thought that the extras had been forgotten. Then realised they're all housed within the inner sleeves. So we do have a digital download of the albums, or I believe all the content actually. Now, we've got a little range of posters here, so I'll show these off as well. This is Rise of the Demon Winter Tour 2015. Love the vampiric Dracula look in art there. Very cool. Then we have another poster, Final Curse Tour 2016. And good to see Visigoth there. Another absolutely exceptional band, US heavy metal band, who sadly we haven't had any new material from in a few years. But another little cool retro tour poster there. We've then got a very creepy Night Demon with the Axeman. poster. Very cool, like that a lot. And the last poster we have here is, again, it's a tour. We've got Curse of Mexico. Cool stuff. Very cool. So a nice little selection of memorabilia there, little posters and download card. So pop that vinyl back in its sleeve. Up next, we have the 10th anniversary remix. Lovely vinyl. These are all just single sleeve, but they're robust. So single sleeves. Again, we've got more extras, which I'll show in a moment there. This is really nice. Gold with a little bit of a swirl to it as well. Very nice indeed. Solid gold there. And mentioned extras, we have yet more extras. This time we have a whole comic book, Blood Sacrifice, which I'm not going to go through every page, of course, but as you can see, we've got a little gruesome cartoon that unfolds. But this is a really cool little feature. There aren't many albums that come with a full comic book and some pretty grim looking artwork as well. So if you're a comic book fan, that is a definite nice feature for you that you'll enjoy. So 10th anniversary remix, and then last but certainly not least, the original, the wonderful Curse of the Damned. So here, whoops, drop the little insert there. Just single sleeve, as I mentioned, but we've got, this is really cool. It's kind of like, it's difficult to really describe the color here, but it's almost like a bluey gray. It's marbled. It just looks awesome. Neat. Seriously cool. I will also say that all these vinyls sound great, and they're all of a good heavy weight as well. So don't be worried about any kind of lightweight, flimsy vinyl. Nothing to fear here. We've also got insert in the album with all your lyrics, all your good stuff. And then last but not least, in terms of memorabilia, we have a replica official tour program from 2015, Curse of the Western World. And this is really cool. We've got bio about the tour. We've got some cool shots, live shots. We've also got, if I can find it, we've got adverts, retro adverts now. Got some Raven being advertised there, and some Alpha Tiger, and merch as well. Really nice little touch there. I think these are really nice little articles to include in a box set, definitely. Really for the fans, for the diehards. Yeah, I'd say this is more for the diehards. I think I managed to purchase this box set for about £80, which you might say is quite a lot for one album. But actually, when you think about the content that you're getting, I did get it for a very good deal, I am aware. But if you think about the content you're getting 3 vinyls, 3 CDs, all individually packaged, a DVD, a tape, digital downloads, posters, programs, comic books, in the nice box. It's really worth it. And honestly, this album is a masterpiece. I freaking love it. I will just mention, if you're not familiar with this album, it is speedy heavy metal. You know, it's not quite speed metal. It is heavy metal, but it's fast and it is loose. Title track, Curse of the Damned. Second track on the album there is one that you absolutely need to hear. If you're still needing a little bit of convincing, Curse of the Damned. I would also say The Howling Man is that's just creepy. Such a sinister vibe there. And I'd say Run for Your Life is one that I absolutely love as well. So there's 3 choice picks: the title track, The Howling Man, and Run for Your Life. If you like killer riffs, good solid vocals, main man Jarvis, he has a good vocal style there. And if you like killer drumming, thunder and bass, you're in luck. Night Demon and Curse of the Damned, what you need to hear. So my friends, what are your thoughts on this album? What are your thoughts on Night Demon? Have you got the 10th anniversary Curse of the Damned box set? If so, what are your thoughts on it? If you're interested, it's pretty readily available from the looks of it, so check it out, show some support for the band. Hope you've enjoyed this humble review. Please do feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Support is greatly appreciated as always. Until next time, my friends, stay frickin' heavy.